Hey guys, girls, welcome back to another fun-filled edge of your seat. What have I purchased lately video? So this will cover items received into the stash in basically February, and just a few things here. Oddly enough, I know I always say, "Oh, it's just a couple things, just a couple things," but really, honestly, this month not too much, and we've really been sort of uh, cutting back on purchases, moving some stuff out of the stash, which I know, shocking, right? But you know, things have obviously over time gotten to be quite substantial, and so some of the stuff that I know I'm never going to build. In some cases, I'm selling off old kits that have been reissued and have either already or plan to pick up the new versions of them for the new decals, because we're talking about kits that I got when I was a kid in the early 90s, late 80s. Those decals are toast. And so some of those kits have been reissued. None of those things this month though. We have a few things from Hobby Link Japan, and then a couple odds and ends in the detail side of things, and one domestic kit as well. So the domestic kit that we picked up was the brand new 2021 Dodge Charger RT kit from AMT. Obviously, it's a brand new tool. It's something that never existed before. I have a substantial number of the Lindbergh Chargers that, over the course of time, I've been selling off the last 6-8 months. Just because I bought them all mainly because I was going to start doing custom police car work again, and I just never really got around to that. It just never really jived with what I was doing at the time, and now those cars are, you know, well, they're 2006 Chargers, so they're, 15 years old at this point. Well, 17 years old at this point, so they're not really valid anymore. Now, there will be a police car version of this at some point in time, and I probably will pick up one or maybe two of those as time goes along. A long-time Ohio resident in Ohio Highway Patrol obviously uses them. And here in Pennsylvania, we picked up about 300 of them and are starting to put them into service with the Pennsylvania State Police. So there's a couple of, local agencies, local to me anyway, that may possibly get a couple of kits purchased for them, but I don't plan to buy 10, 12, 15 of them like I have with some of the backlog of Crown Vics and Caprices that I still am trying to get rid of to this day, that I purchased back in the mid-1990s. So that being that, yeah, this will be a fun one. I think I've shown you guys before. I have the purple color from Splash Paints for this, which as I sit here and talk about it, I don't think is actually on the table. But I'm going to reach around here. Nope, it's not actually up. I think I put that color away. But anyway, yeah, should be good time on this one when we get around to it. Over at Hobby Link Japan, we picked up 3 kits. There are 2 Aoshimas and a Hasegawa. Usually don't pick up too many Aoshima kits anymore, as they haven't really produced any new kits other than the Liberty Walk Lamborghinis, but they did reissue this kit, which we might need to come out just a hair to get in the frame there. And this is the HKS Kansai Service R32 GTR. I had one of these in my collection, one of the original releases, and much like a lot of original releases from the 1990s, the decals were toast. So this is a nice, brand new, fresh set of decals in here. Otherwise, it's the same kit that I had before, although this time around, it does have some window masks included. It's got this weird screen door mesh crap that Aoshima puts in their kits. And like I said, a nice, minty, fresh set of decals. There's some white decals on here, and they all yellowed, and all the decals had gotten again old and cranky. So yeah, I picked this one up because I do like this tuner version of this R32. The R32 that Hasegawa or that Aoshima makes is not the greatest one in the world. It's a little on the simplified side. It does have sort of a everything already molded into the chassis kind of chassis. You can see that everything is sort of one piece with just the front crossmember being separate, metal axle running through and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to crunchy the bags too much, but yeah, I picked this one up just because I wanted to replace. This is a replacement item. This one is a stash null kind of thing, because I sold the old one, then bought the new one. Then we picked up this reissue, and this is the Toyota JZ100 Toyota Chaser in its Blitz tuner version. This is a kit I always was after to go into my four-door Toyota sedan collection that I have, but it was last released in like 2012, so it was about 10, 11 years since this was released last, and they were very, very hard to come by. And like a lot of things that are, again, older, finding one with good decals was a problem. Aoshima's decals have over the years not aged particularly well. A lot of times you pull out an old Aoshima kit that the kit is mint inside, but the decals have gotten weird. I'm hoping these decals last a little longer, because heck, it'll probably be 12 years before I ever get around to building this, but it's just a Toyota Chaser kit. Very few add-ons in here, basically the wheels, and this parts runner right here that has like the front, the rear lip spoiler, the front bumper, side skirts, and things like that make it Blitz. So, again, as with most Aoshima kits these days, it does come with window masks in it now, and then you have this itty bitty little tiny shitty decals. This is a very, very subdued car as far as its like Blitz thing. And you'll have to excuse the dog alarm is going off for some reason. I'm not sure why. That's what we call my lab when he sees somebody outside. It's the dog alarm. So, yeah, so that's there. And for anybody who might be concerned that we were being attacked by a marauding band of pirates, it was in fact my oldest daughter coming home from college for the night. So we are safe here. Anyway, last kit we picked up is this. This is, I said Hasegawa, because I have a Hasegawa kit over here. This is the new Toyota Corolla 11A92 1989 Japanese Touring Car Championship at the Suga round. This was just released again at the end of January over in Hong Kong, and we got it in February in the rest of the world. Most recent of the new releases. They were quite a whiles behind things that they promised at this point. But this kit does... Oh, I also picked up the PE set for it. So this has seatbelt material and a little sheet of photo etch. Not too much of this, brake rotors, and tow hooks, and the mesh grill things will probably be the parts I use out of this, and the seatbelt material. If I ever get around to making seatbelts. I try to make seatbelt material out of the one for another kit, and I got the centerpiece all made up, the part that makes up the main buckle that comes up between your legs on a 5-port harness, and attempting to plumb the line into it, it went tweak off my tweezers and was never seen again. So I ended up using the kit decals on the seat, which isn't the greatest look in the world, but it is what I had left over at that point, because I wasn't going to bust into a whole new PE set just for the seatbelt material. So yeah, but yeah, so that's in there, but that came separately. But this kit does come with somewhere. Oh, there they are. They're down here in the bottom. Does come with window masks, which is nice, because these new kits since last year have been coming with window masks instead of those black decal surrounds that everybody hated. And then this does include the decals to do both the FET Powercraft JTCC car and the Crown Motors Racing Team Gear Race of Macau car. So that was a nice bonus. That was not included in any of the literature that was going to include the Macau racing. You would think maybe it would, because new B-Max, they're in Macau. But yeah, you get the layout here on the back for the Gear Race of Macau and for the Japanese touring car. The overall livery is the same, just different style of numbers, and then your main side sponsor is different. Otherwise, the car just came from Japan, raced in Macau, and then who knows what happened to it after that. A lot of times Macau was the last time these cars were run. This was an 89 car, and could have gone back into the next season, I guess, but I'm not sure on that exactly what happened to this for the 90 season. I have to go look up how the cars ran in 1990. But anyway, that kit is in. And the reason I mentioned Hasegawa is if you've watched these acquisition videos enough, since we started doing them again, we did pick up the Hasegawa version of this kit a couple of months beforehand. Now, this kit was announced before, but Nunu being Nunu didn't bother to release it for like a year afterwards. Even though this kit, there's no new tooling in this at all. They've done the '89 kit was the first version they did of the Minolta car, so this is just a reissue with new decals. And then, of course, going back probably 2 years ago now, Hasegawa started doing their AE92 Levin series. It has several road cars and several race cars in it. So I had talked about with a couple of friends wanting to do like a side-by-side of these two different versions of basically what is the same car. And I was going to do Minolta car versus one of the other Hasegawa cars. And I just, I'll do this. And then these two got announced. And I was like, well, when these come in, so at some point, I've got like 4 things that I'm working on right now, legitimately working on in the background. When one of those projects, or actually 2 of those projects clear off, I might bust out, because I want to get these built. The JTCC thing is a thing to me. I want to get these kits built at some point more than other things in my collection. I want to do a side-by-side of these to see, photo etch notwithstanding, how do these 2 kits stack up? Because this kit is about 90 parts. This kit is about 150 parts. And is there really that much difference between these two to justify that 50-piece difference? Is this just overly complicated, or is this really undercomplicated? Is there a happy medium there? And that sort of thing. So, at some point in the future, yeah, right, that'll get explored. But then I have the exact same kit, the exact same livery. I probably will use the SK decals on the Hasegawa kit, just because Hasegawa's decals are kind of iffy and weird sometimes. But I will use the kit decals for the Nunu one because, again, it's the same livery and the same people make the decals. Speaking of SK decals, I did get 3 sheets of their stuff for February. First up, you have this set here, which is, I'm just going to hold it like this. I think that'll work. It is the AA611 from the 1983 Gi Race of Macau. This kit is going to take either a stupendous effort by Fujimi, because Fujimi is going to reissue their version of this kit in the coming weeks, months, in the first half of 2023. To build this out of the Aoshima kits, I need 3 Aoshima kits to bash together, because I need 1 for the actual race car itself, I need 1 for this front bumper, and then I need 1 for I forget what there's a reason I need 3, and it's basically because of this. The spec of this car is a little bit race car and it's a little bit street car. It's not quite as wild and crazy as the over-fendered version of this that ran in like the 80s, the late 80s, middle late 80s. This is a way more closer to factory stock version, with just the front lip spoiler and front bumper being different. So yeah, at some point I would need to collect those kits. But this is the first place class winning car in 1983. In 1983, the overall race winner was a Marlboro sponsored BMW 635, and this was the sort of class below the 635, and this was the class winner. So it's a significant car within the Macau thing, and the Macau thing's another thing I really want to get started on. As for the reason why I started selling off my collection was the fact that I have a lot of things here that really don't fit into the focus. I really let the collection expand quite a bit, and it lost a lot of its real collection focus of being Skylines, Ford, Toyotas, especially the Lexuses, supercars and luxury cars, Mercedes, Porsche, Audi, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and like the kits that Alfa's doing with all of their supercars, and then the Macau racing series and the JTCC stuff. And then I look around and it's like I've got minivans and stuff. And I'm like, oh, something happened there somewhere along the line. We got a little bit our eyes got bigger than our stomach, so to speak. So that one's there. And then we also got this livery here, which is the Team Craft Bamboo livery for the most recent Macau GT Cup. This is the GT3 race held at Macau. Replaced the Gia Race of Macau back in like I think it's 2009, actually became a FIA GT race, but the actual Macau GT Cup started in 2013, 2013, and so it is basically the end of the year race. It held in November. The last couple of years there haven't been international teams because of COVID restrictions. This year was the first year. 2022 was the first year. It was all the teams were back. This is Maro Engels livery for the race, and it is the race winner, so it is very cool. This is a very, very neat sheet of decals. These are chrome decals, so this could be super cool. You do need a trans kit to turn this into an Evo package with a big grill. This is not the way that the AMG GT kit comes from Tamiya as it stands right now, but we'll cover that in a second. And then lastly, we picked up this. This is the Audi Sports Asia Team X Works car from the 2020 Macau Cup. So this is 2 years ago, and this was the second place car in the race. Now this black thing on here is because this livery is an Evisu clothing livery, where you see these missing things going. Those are the decals in here. Can't sell it with the Evisu stuff mentioned or shown. Otherwise, it's a copyright infringement in the first degree to those folks. So yeah, your super secret decals are in here. Otherwise, very cool livery. A lot of the carbon you need for the Evo 2 package, which is something that, as of yet, Studio 27 and nobody else has done to upgrade their pre-cut carbon fiber to the new car. So Frankie went ahead and did that. These decals are gold foil, so that's super cool. And all of the Dragon livery is all separate. This is basically going to wrap the car when it's all said and done with. So this is a very thick, very complete, and a little pricey, obviously. Same with this. This is kind of a pricey livery too. But they make some super, super cool cars. Then, as we sort of slide those over there, two last things, right? I picked up a new Tamiya anti-static brush. I had one of these. I've had one of these forever. But somewhere along the lines, it got something sticky on the edge. And so this part of the brush got all weird. And then it accidentally got dumped behind my chest freezer in my basement. And it became... I didn't realize it was back there for like 6 months until like between fall show season and spring show season. And yeah, it's no longer anti-static. It's no longer much of a brush, and it's just caked with 6 months of basement gunk. So these are like $20-25 depending on where you get them at. It wasn't worth trying to save the old one, just replace it and be done with it. So I got a new one of those. And yeah, if you don't have one of these, this is really honestly one of the cheapest investments you can make in cleaning your cars off even after they're built. This is a super soft brush. It won't damage your paint or your clear coat or anything else like that when you're dusting your models off. It has a little bit of it has a brush underneath this cap that's very small and pointed, so you can dust out like your panel lines and stuff like that. Great to go over your cars before you paint them to give it the little anti-static boost. It really does do that. It really will make your car dispel dust a little bit when you're painting it. So totally a cool tool, and well worth, they're showing cleaning a battleship back here. Very cool tool in that sense. So yeah, that is there. And then lastly, we got some things in from over in Hobby Easy. First up, we got this PE set for the Catalonia rally-winning Lancia Delta S4. That's the Esso Griffin car that's black and gold. For whatever reason, when I bought the kit through HobbyLink Japan, they did not have the detail up stuff listed. I need to put this on a thing. There we go, because it's getting out of focus on me. And yeah, for whatever reason, they didn't include it as something you could buy. It was available. They didn't have it. And when it became available, it went on a back order instantaneously, which was very frustrating. So I just gave up, and I bought it in Hong Kong because it was A, cheaper, and B, it was there. So this has a whole bunch of carbon fiber. If you have any of the Delta S4 PE sets, you know what this includes because you already have one, but it has 3 sheets of carbon fiber, 3 sheets of photo etch. You get seatbelt material and antenna, the decals for the seatbelts themselves, because for whatever reason, Saybelt doesn't allow them to put it in the kit, I guess. So those kind of things have always been in the detail upset. So very complete, and it has the Kevlar style carbon fiber as well as a twill style carbon fiber. So very, very cool. This is especially for the S4s, I think this is one of the more worthwhile PE sets that Bima Nunu has created in the terms of things that really complement your kit. the one that was just in that 8092, like, okay, so it has some grills and it has some brake faces and things like that, but it's not really gonna pop the car in a way, because most people probably wouldn't notice. If I built those two cars and I set them side by side, most people probably would not realize that one has a PE set and one doesn't, unless you told them, or they notice that the one has seatbelts and the other one has like decals for seatbelts. But yeah, this one with all of the stuff that's included is worth the price, I personally think, and it's worth it. It's like 2,900 yen, so it's like $25, so worth it. And then lastly, we picked up a AMG Evo trans kit from Zoomon. Now this has a little bit of a reputation going for it already, in the sense that this set, which includes the front bumper, the rear bumper, inserts for the rear bumper, new headlights, the vents for the rear bumper, the new front winglets, which we open up here, you'll see the front winglets, the headlights. Does include the PE grill for back here. It includes some Mylar chrome for the front, which is pretty cool, because making that chrome otherwise is a little bit of a pain in the ass, because in real life, every one of these grill things is carbon fiber with just a chrome front to it. So trying to do that in a way of like painting this all black and then trying to come back and chrome trim it, this is a little bit easier. And then, like I said, the back bumper here has the actual back bumper, and then it's got the arrow spots, and then the brake cooling ducts back here. The issue with this kit has been these back bumpers do not fit out of this package. You need to do a lot of fiddling, filing, and sanding, and shaping, and whatnot to get this back bumper on. Front bumpers have not apparently been too bad, but this back bumper especially has been pretty awful. I have as yet not gotten a chance to really sit down with this and put it onto the kit, but I've had actually three different people at this point tell me that this back bumper doesn't fit. And they're people who build really nice models, who are really good at their game, so to speak, in terms of building GT3 cars and race cars in general. And so I trust their opinions on it. So there's one from KMP, which you still can't really buy because they offer it for sale at like shows and stuff in Europe, but it's still not on their website. And then Hobby Design also has done one of these now, as well as a team called Mix Hobby, which I think is another Hong Kong, Macau-based supplier of extras, and they have one, but it doesn't include quite as many pieces to it. So I'm probably going to get a Hobby Design version of this just to have the two to see how they compare. Here's your extra little bits with your chrome and your grill. But yeah, so know that going in. This is probably, I don't know where it's going to rank in terms of like 1, 2, or 3 in terms of fit, but I know that some people have been pretty upset about the fit of the rear bumper and have started doing their own 3D design and 3D printing on this. So there may be more of these coming up in the future as time goes along, because this one is not getting a vote of approval from very many people. So it is what it is, though. That, guys, again, wraps up this video. We're under 25 minutes, so that's always a good thing. And hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys on the other side.